eBay sellers, welcome to the January 2024 seller shout out. The sales in this video come from my Facebook group, and this is the video where anything goes. There's no dollar amount, there's no theme. This is just to celebrate the eBay sellers out there in the eBay community and show what's sold so we can all learn from each other. So we're going to jump in and get started with Carol Hollis. Paid $3 at a thrift store. Took about 7 months to sell for full price. This is a 1990 Nissan truck Pathfinder repair manual. Sold for $79.99. $3 investment. And yes, these old auto manuals are great sellers because they don't make them anymore, and it's often difficult to find something online when you need information about older vehicles. So it doesn't matter if they are not in perfect condition. They're probably not going to be, but they are still great sellers. Okay, Stephen Gitler paid $1 at an estate sale. Sold for full price in a couple of weeks. This is a Ukrainian cookbook from 1983. Sold for $24.95. And a rule of thumb I have learned about selling cookbooks: the weirder the better, meaning the more obscure the better, because this is about supply and demand. If something was sold at Costco and they were 30 tall on a table in the middle of the store and they're everywhere, like also Southern Living cookbooks, some of those types of items, you're not going to get a whole lot for those. But something like this, Ukrainian Easter, you don't see that every day. So $1 sold for just under 25. Okay, Stephen Gitler has another one, and I wanted to include this because I bet some of you all might have some of these around your house, because he did. He said, I had these at home, found them while decluttering, sold for $43.95. Lot of 26 Eisenhower silver dollars, 1971 to 1978. Took an offer of $43.95. Investment was nothing. These are actually worth $26, but if you turn them in at the bank or use them in circulation, but he got a little bit more by selling them on eBay. Okay, Diane Wells, part of a big lot of over 100 pieces, several signer pieces in the lot. That's jewelry, signer jewelry. Sold for full asking price. Estimated investment $1. Sold for $48 for one pair of lapis stone clip-on earrings. Okay, Eileen Cole, aka the Book Lady. This $1 paperback came from my favorite charity used book sale. Sold for $33.25 plus shipping. Took almost a year to sell. This is Magic the Gathering Jedi Tea Magic Legends. Okay, an obscure book. Sold for $33.25. Donna Shirley, free to me from my family. So the lesson here is don't ever turn down free. Take it home, figure it out. If it's no good, you can donate it. Took best offer of $48.99, listed for 15 months. This is Tahari Arthur S. Levine women's dress suit, pantsuit, 2-piece, $48.99. It was free. Bill Hunt, 27 Elephant replacement butterfly parts. So yes, this goes to a game. I think it's a plastic elephant and these things shoot up out of its mouth. Anyway, $18.93 for some little plastic pieces. He didn't say how much he paid, maybe nothing, knowing Bill. Krista Weigart, paid $4.99 at Goodwill. Had never heard of the brand before. Krista, I'm with you on that. I'd never heard of it before I saw this. Comps looked good, sold in 1 week for full asking price. The brand is Straight to Hell. This is a Snake Dance Blues short sleeve shirt, new with tag. $5, sold for just under 40. Michelle Gerard paid $4 at the thrift store, took 2 days to sell. It went for $99. Megamind DreamWorks action figures. So you can see the different ones there are 4 figures in this group. $4, sold for 99. The lesson here is if you list it, it will sell. It might sell right away. So that's your motivation. Get those items listed. Bethany Henderson found several pairs of rock climbing shoes at the bins. Our bins prices are $2.50 for a pair of shoes. Took an offer of $48 in a week. Sold another pair on Mercari for $50. Great pickup. The item is La Sportiva Tarantula Boulder climbing shoes. Cost $2.50. Took an offer of $48. Okay, Joy Fulkin sold this Wacol breast cancer awareness bra for full asking price 8 days after listing. Purchased on half off day at local thrift store chain for $2.66. Thanks to Suzanne for helping me with good bra brands. Well, that is my pleasure. I also sell this one a lot. I see it all the time and it's a good seller. And if you want to know what Joy is referring to, I do have a course in the premium library, How to Sell Bras on eBay. There are 8 lessons, about 2 hours of content. And one of the parts that I like to include is why. Why would you sell these? One of the main reasons is the embarrassment factor. Other sellers might be too embarrassed or self-conscious to look through the bras and bring a bunch of them to the checkout counter. So that's an opportunity for those of us who are brave and will pick up bras and sell them. Lots of other reasons to sell bras. They don't take up much space. They don't expire. They're very lightweight to ship. And when you go through all the combinations of sizes and colors, it's basically unlimited what's out there. So, and what people need. And women like a specific bra, and yeah, they get worn out, so they need to be replaced. They're almost a consumable. So they can go on eBay, find exactly what they want, and be happy finding a replacement. So that's my little spiel about my bra course. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of these blankets lately. These fuzzy, reversible sometimes blankets with animals and nature scenes and geometric patterns and stuff like that. Ginger Lampright got this at a garage sale for $5 on October 27th. Sold for best offer of $70 plus shipping. The brand is San Marcos with this beautiful lion print, and she took an offer of $70. Rita Morgan picked these 4 cups up at Goodwill for 99 cents each. Sold in 86 days for $80.74. These are Arabia, Finland, footed teacups, bowls. Oh yeah, they have a handle on them, so they're cups. $4 investment, sold for $80.74. I've also been seeing a lot of these cork-backed placemats, so we're going to throw that in the mix here. Suzanne Keene. Cloverleaf cork-backed placemats with a London Bridges theme. Came with original box, very similar to Pimpernel, and another good brand to look for. Bought at thrift store for $15, sold for $59.99 in about 7 months. So cork-backed placemats. Be on the lookout for those. Lori Toman, free to me, sold to buyer in South Korea in one day. Sold for $65. These are Wilton Company. You may know Wilton as the makers of the cake pans, the character and shaped cake pans. So these are pewter candy nut bowls, set of 4. So they were free and she sold them for $65. Okay, Shirley, England. Another one of my husband's Byte, B-Y-T-E, magazine, free to me, sold for $49.99. So yes, a vintage magazine from 1981, and they were free, and she picked up 50 bucks. Okay, Lori Toman has another one. Store ledger from the 1870s. Very poor condition. Originally listed at $149. After lots of messaging back and forth with the buyer, who is a conservator, changed the price to $100, listed for 7 days. Wow, proof that anything can sell. Antique store ledger from Central Pennsylvania, 1876 to 1886. $100. That's amazing. Okay, Jody Clark paid $11.47 at Goodwill for this vintage Flyers kit bag, sold in 6 days for $44.97 plus $10 shipping. Vintage 1988 U.S. Military Flyers Pilot Kit Bag, Flight Duffel Army Green. So just under $12 and sold for just under $45. And here's Mark Sherrill with a great item. Bought this for myself several years ago at Bath and Body Works. Never used it, so I listed it recently. Sold for $80 plus $12 shipping. It is a Bath and Body Works tomato vine 3-wick candle. $80 for a candle. I mean, eBay just never gets boring. Really, it's very entertaining, and I learn new stuff every day, and I'm sure you do too. Okay, Jane Brown donated to my shop. Jane was on the podcast a while back, and she has her own thrift store where she gets a lot of donations. Accepted $30 offer after 8 months. Pier 1 Party Cats Platter. I find that anything with cats on it sells well. Doesn't have to be a high-end name brand, just fun for cat lovers. Catherine Farnsworth paid $3 each for a case of these at a thrift store. This is probably the 10th one I've sold for $29.99 plus shipping. New in box Arbonne It's All in the Eyes eyeshadow palette. So $3 for the case. So less than $1 for this. Sold for $29.99 plus shipping. Okay, Diana Warren. I purchased this last June for $20 at an antique and collectible store. Just sold during my sale for $117.20. I also have another one in my profit pile that I found this fall at a flea market for $4. I will definitely be listing it now since this one has finally sold. And that is a great strategy if you have more than one of something valuable. Don't list them at the same time because you're just creating competition for yourself. List one, let it sell, and then list the other. And this item was in the 2022 BOLO book. It is the Pioneer Woman rolling pin, the red charming check. And the price on this in the BOLO book was $300 because at the time I did the research, that's what they were going for, the higher priced ones. So Diana said she was running a sale and took $117.20. So I'm not going to say this has lost its value. It depends on how many are listed at the time, because simple economics, supply and demand, the less there is of something, the more it's going to be worth. So sometimes it's hard to zero in on a price because the market's always changing, and that's true with everything. So, yay for you, Diana, for a $117 sale on a $20 item. Next up is Lisa Middleton. New Year's means getting organized and attacking the death pile. Bought last summer for $10 at a yard sale. Got confused researching and trying to date it, so I set it aside for 6 months. Finally listed on January 9th, and it sold the next day for $75 plus shipping. This is Wagner Ware cast iron Dutch oven with lid. Sold for $75 and her cost was $10. Okay, Patrice Peterman. Here's another cross stitch I got for $1.50 from a messy estate sale. Similar style but smaller. After the auction closed with one bid, I got a message from the buyer of the other cross stitch $33 sale saying she planned on bidding on this one too, but was in a location without a signal when it closed. Asked me to contact her if the buyer didn't pay and she would bid on it. Buyer did pay immediately, so she lost out. Would have been good for me to have two vying for it before it ended. This is a cross stitch advent calendar. And this sold after Christmas, January 15th-ish, for $20. Andrew Silvaroli found this awesome vintage t-shirt at Goodwill for $4.97. I accepted a best offer of $60 after 3.5 months. This is a very cool 1992 Salem Olympic Dream Team vintage t-shirt. So who knows where this has been hiding? In someone's closet, in a box in the attic. Who knows? But it showed up and Andrew grabbed it, $4.97, and it sold for best offer of $60. Colleen Olson found this last spring for $5, listed for 9 months, sold for full asking price. Buyer was happy, and I'm including this because I did not know of this brand. Being a little old Georgia peach down here in the South, we don't know a lot of these winter weather outdoor brands. This is a Turbine Slate Men's Planet snowboard ski jacket. Size 2 extra large, does not hurt. $5, sold for $80.99. Monica Jackson has a fun vintage item. Part of the 200 plus cassettes lot I bought in June for $20 at a yard sale. I made my money back on 3 Metallica cassettes last summer. Finally getting around to sorting out the more interesting finds. This Devo cassette was listed for a week and sold for $20. Yes, Devo, whip it. Raise your hand if you remember that song. This is Devo Freedom of Choice cassette, $22. Okay, another interesting cookbook. This is from Jackie Basie. This was in a stack of kitchen ephemera from an estate sale. Less than $1. Sold for full asking price in 2 months. 1938 Home Comfort Cookbook out of St. Louis, Missouri. Sold for $30. Cost her $1. Leanne Scrock. I was so excited to find this vintage HP scientific calculator for $2.99 at the thrift store, as it can sell for $80 to $100. I was getting ready to list it once I put the new batteries in, and it powered on and seemed to work. Then I thought, maybe I should make sure it calculates correctly. I researched and found how to do a self-test, and bummer, it failed. I was going to toss it, but decided to list it for parts, along with a video of me doing the self-test, and it sold for best offer of $30 within a couple of days. So glad I tested it before listing. It is an HP 32S scientific calculator, and she's got in the title, Failed Self-Test. But it's sold for $34.95, so she still made money. Okay, Tim and Rachel Beachy, small collection of old books I had on my bookshelf and thought I'd try to purge out. Listed and sold for a full asking price within a couple of months. Washburn individual arithmetic books 1 through 3 and correction book. These are antiques, and these sold for $29.99. And we're going to end with my friend Tammy Kennedy in Ohio. Vintage briefcases used to bring more profit, but I'm happy with this sale. My cost was $4 from a thrift store, and it sold within a month of listing for $39.99 plus shipping. So you can see it is a vintage leather briefcase with a combination lock. And just a side note, if you find any luggage that has a combination lock or even a key lock, you can't get it open, you can always take it to a luggage repair shop and see if they can get it open. You have to do a cost benefit analysis on that. Is it worth paying to have it opened? But if it's locked and you can't get into it, there may be some surprises inside. So it's just kind of a fun gamble to take. Okay, that wraps up this edition of the Seller Shout Out. Keep posting your sales and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. See you next time. Bye.